Hello everyone, thank you for joining today's Words of Wisdom. Today's is from April 10th and I quote, "While living in our physical bodies, we are constantly affected by various spiritual beings, and we undergo many character changes due to those influences. We ourselves are spiritual beings dwelling inside physical bodies, and we're also influenced by external factors. We live under the law of action and reaction in this way from the Laws of Secret by Master Okawa." Thank you, Master Okawa. All right, it's such an important teaching, especially the first line, while living in our physical bodies. So we have a physical body, but a soul is residing inside. The spiritual world exists, our souls exist, that's the eternal part of ourselves. We continue to exist after death, and there was a being who dwelled in our physical bodies before birth. We are constantly affected by various spiritual beings. When he says various, he means various. All right, so even in the heavenly world, there's different dimensions. So different levels of awareness and spirituality, right? The higher you go, the closer to heaven. There's 9 dimensions. So that's the horizontal difference, but also, the horizontal lines that separates the spiritual world. And also there's a vertical line that separates these beings by having these 7 different rays of God's color, or Buddha's rays, Buddha's light colors. So what does he mean by Buddha's colors of light? Or God's colors of light. Red, let's say that you are being guided from a spirit in the red spiritual world. That means that it means courage, action, boldness, miracles, things like that. Let's say that you're being guided from a spirit in a blue light. That means that you'll become more contemplative, more intellectual, smarter, things like that. So even in the heavenly world, so many different diverse values, right? I mean, just think about it. Spiritual world is an extension of this world, and just look at the world around you. So many diverse people out there. So they're going to continue to live on with that characteristic in the spiritual world. So in the spirit world, it's actually even more diverse in this world than this world. So that's just heaven. But there's also the minor heaven, or the rear side of heaven, which I spoke about in the video that I did a couple days ago. And also there's hell. But again, in hell, there's different types of hells, and there's different depths of hells too. So a spirit that's possessing you can come from a hell of rage, anger, and then your anger will be amplified. It could be a hell of greed. So you'll start feeling like greedy about everything, about money, about food, and it's this uncontrollable greed can destroy your life. So heaven and hell, there's so many diversity. So you don't know who's possessing you. Not only that, Master has been recently revealing to us that people's willpower can affect you. So we're actually, Master Okawa is going to be producing a new movie called The Divine Protector, Master Salt Begins. This is about curse, how a curse can affect someone's life. And also the good side is prayers. Someone else's prayers can affect you. Right, so the various spiritual beings, and we undergo many changes due to those influences. What kind of changes? One is like the mental, spiritual change, and then there's also the physical changes that occurs to our bodies. So the first one, mental, spiritual change. I kind of already spoke about this earlier, but let's say that there is a hellish being that's possessing you from hell of strife, hell of anger. That means that it's going to amplify your anger more than usual, so you're going to feel more out of control of your own thoughts. And so that's one of them, right? And then the other one is influence from heaven. So let's say that you have a good insight, a new idea in your business, or you gain a new perspective on someone. You start seeing the good characters of others. You see all this perception and perspective, you're making new discoveries in it, a good discovery in other people, in yourself, in the world. That is usually a guidance from your guardian spirit or a guiding spirit. And the physical part, yes, you'll be seeing this in the movie, but Master has taught us that other people's curses can make you ill. And sometimes you can succumb to it. You can die from someone's curse. That has been proven in history. Like in World War II, the wartime president, FDR, Franklin D. Roosevelt, how he died during his presidency during World War II. But this is recorded truth, but there was a psychic team in Japan who was not praying, but cursing FDR to death. That's recorded. And so if you look at history, that's even modern day history, right? Even in the past, if you go more in the past, there's even more of this like cursing and reflecting and deflecting curses, things like that. So it can actually have a physical impact onto your body. And vice versa, if you pray for a healing, that really has a physical effect to someone. So as you can see, it's so important to understand this sentence to be able to understand what's actually happening in our lives. There's a lot of unseen influences. Hence, it's unseen. We live day by day without noticing this because it's not visible to our eyes. However, as it says in today's words of wisdom, we are constantly affected by it 24/7. So, what's important, I believe, is to recite the true words spoken by Buddha because, man, it has so many great effects. When you recite that, it like creates a shell of light protecting you from evil spirits. It creates like a ladder for you to connect to the heavenly world. And it gives you like a different set of engine to like keep you peaceful and driven and to continue moving forward. It's just amazing just reciting that sutra deliberately and meaningfully. And contemplatively, you say it out loud deeply, it'll have a great effect. That too, but also self-reflection. The more you practice self-reflection, the more you cleanse your mind, and then the more you connect it to the heavenly world, and the more you will be disconnected to the hellish world. So these kind of things, when you become a Happy Science member, there's a shift in your perspective, in the direction of what you view. Before Happy Science, a lot of people were viewing outwards. We're seeing other people. We're seeing the world. We're seeing our external self. But when you become a Happy Science member, this direction of your view goes inward. You start looking at yourself, what kind of soul's tendencies you have. You start analyzing what kind of person you are. You start analyzing the chain of reaction of thoughts and the words and the actions that you usually take in a certain scenario. And by looking into yourself deeply like that, you can truly change yourself. And when you change yourself, you start changing what you're attracting to yourself. And that is where these phenomenal miracles start to occur. So, it's a very important message that we're learning today from Master Okawa. I really recommend you reading The Laws of Secret, and also there's a book called The Possession by Master. They're both available on Amazon or Barnes & Nobles or bookstores, so I really, really recommend you reading it, or else you're looking at the world not correctly. It's like you're looking at the world with sunglasses on. It's tainted. So to be able to gain that correct understanding of yourself, other people, and the world, really, really recommend it. I wish it's like even compulsory education of Master's teachings because, yes, once you gain the right view, then you can start living happily, successfully, healthier, wealthier. All these good things come once you first grasp a right view. All right, that is it for today. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.